Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are gonna put Betty to retirement. I think we are gonna drive her out and stick her next to Betsy in our quote unquote historical center out there. Um, but I think the days of using Betty for wood or anything else have pretty much come to an end. That's not to say she might not come out of retirement someday, but today is the day she's going into retirement. We will take her on the last run of her storied career. She was our first cordwood train and the first to bring in a lot of the new lines of expansion along the way as she held more wood. That extra expansion wood rack when we were running 2 and 4 cars of things to get lines set up was useful. So she definitely put in work and earned her keep on the railroad at one time. It's just at this point we've kind of moved on. She can't really handle, too much out here at a time. And we don't really have much use for shunting. She may come out of retirement, like I said, to put in work down at the smelter when we finally decide how we're actually going to do the smelter in the long run, because we really don't like the current situation with the cordwood drop. So that could definitely change. So that Heisler is going to still be in the way if we try to run out on the main track out to the... that's a bummer. I didn't really think about that. We have the Heisler parked on the main line, the double Heisler actually. So... now we don't have a single, or do we? No. We just have the double Heisler now. So, how do we fix that situation? I suppose we could turn around and back up in one of 2 places. Would make this easy. Either back up right here at these switches, or we can back all the way into the yard or the freight depot, I guess. I think we'll probably use our switches right here. I mean, that's why we realistically put this crossover in here, was in case we needed it. And we have used it a few times. Alright, go ahead and stop. No point in running on a treadmill. Let's actually get somewhere. Alright, whoops. Gotta flip them both or it's not gonna do you much good. Which, who knows, I hear track flipping is going to change based on when the update comes. So we'll have to see how the switches are affected by that all when it's said and done. Didn't do a lot of good to speculate. I've heard that the switches will no longer cause derailment. So that would be cool. I mean, it is somewhat realistic to just expect that the train would have pretty much broken any, switch rather than the track, a switch derailing a train. That would have been poor construction of a switch, I guess, from an engineering standpoint. If you made a switch that would actually derail the train. Not to say that they didn't ever do that. I'm sure the earliest switches may very well have done that. Who knows? Safety wasn't a big thing back when, they were innovating a lot of products. The industrial age obviously came on without much concern for safety at the time, so it wouldn't shock me, but I would assume that that was a very fast realized thing that, the trains have a lot more weight, you would think, than the spring and switch mechanisms, in the switches could handle. I mean, to be honest, they'd have a hard time, I would think, actually derailing a train. But I don't know, some of the early ones may not have had, just simple switches and springs. I don't know what they all had in them, so I'm not going to say by any means they were all safe. Alright, now we're back. We are flipped. We might as well flip that for next time we're out here, because otherwise we'll forget. A little bit now can go a long way later. So, back to the train, and to the last ride of Betty. Steaming away for the last time. We'll see that one for quite a while. Put that one to rest. It does have some of the best looking steam coming out of it, though. Definitely dig that. For the last time, or some of the last times. It works good for smaller trains, no doubt about it. We got a lot of use out of Betty back when we were hauling smaller loads. But again, we wouldn't mind, if anything, adding some more train or more rolling stock to this train. Definitely not going to downsize from here. Unless we start a whole new playthrough. In which case, I don't think we would, I think if I were to do a new playthrough next time, I would skip buying tons of different locomotives. Probably skip right to either a Class 70 or 2 Heislers and just run them back to back, and you would be able to do just about anything and everything you could possibly want to do. That one hauling the 10 oil cars really makes it so that I don't think that train would have a hard time towing a lot of anything. So I would maybe consider just going straight to 2 Heislers or a Class 70 with a Heisler tucked in behind it for extra push when it's needed. I'm not sure which way I'd play that out, but I would probably skip everything in between to the Class 70, and I would just probably go straight from Betsy to Class 70. And then if you wanted to do a mountain setup for supremely heavy loads at a point, consider just running a double-headed Heisler. If you could pull the cow catcher off the Class 70, I'd just run 2 Class 70s. I'm not a big fan of running 2 locomotives or a double header with anything with a cow catcher. It just I don't like the way that it looks. So that's why you don't see those around here. Though the double-headed Heisler works out really well. You don't need that second locomotive for much, but when you do need it, it sure does the job and kicks in, and it's pretty easy getting back and forth between the two. So we'll be running Betty out here, and then I think we'll be picking up another Cook Mogul. Not exactly sure how we're gonna. Pretty sure out there we're just gonna keep it to the Cook Moguls. Although maybe just putting it on a Class 70 would be the way to go. Giving a hoot on the way in. Leave the load right there. But I forget how easy they stop with no cars on. They really do whip right back. Alright. That one goes. A little bit of reverse. And hit the gas. She sure sounds like she wants to go to the moon. But, yeah, the tractive effort is just too small. The locomotive in itself is too small. Great shunting or around the yard. You know, if you're on flat ground, okay. But even that, to be honest, I guess the brakes are leaving that thing some room to be desired, I guess. So with the hand car and Betsy, we are gonna back Betty up and put her in the old barn. Locomotives 1 and 2. And the hand cart we picked up mainly for historical fun. So there we are, brake. And we'll shut that one down. Brake is on, lights are off, and that is that. So there we go. The Porter Type 1 and 2 now in the shed, and I think we'll call that one an episode. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a great day. See you on the next one.